It's me, people. Is my microphone working? Yes. I'll be right back. People, what the fuck can I even tell you? I already fucked up the intro and no one's gonna fucking watch that shit. Then again, who cares? No one's ever gonna watch this shit. Like, ever. Let's be honest. I mean, my face has two different kinds of light skin on it. Do you see that transition? What the f? That looks so like that's giving me raccoon, honestly. So interesting. For fuck's sake. So, considering that no one will ever look at my YouTube posts, I am late. By not that anyone was waiting for it, but um was supposed to start 1.5 hours ago if you check my schedule. What can we do with that information? What can we actually do with that information? I don't know. I really don't know yet. Maybe I'll make a shorter show today. Who knows? Rancid today. Like, actually. Very much. Oh my fucking god, come on. Okay, I mean that's good. Let's get into the broad. I have no plans and no inhibitions for anything. So I think what I'm gonna do is actually um probably take huge amounts of crack cocaine and then roam the streets of New York City. So buckle up because today we're doing some shit. We're gonna do street pranks, but on fentanyl in Skid Row. It's gonna be pretty cool. I don't know if I'll make it to the airport, to be honest. I mean, I'll have to fly from New York to. Does Manhattan have an airport? Probably. I'm just gonna assume so. Um, but does Manhattan have an airport? You know what? I'm just gonna assume they do. And then, basically, I would have to fly to LAX. And from then on, I could just take an Uber to Skid Row. That sounds amazing. I think I'm on my way right now. Let's do fentanyl in New York and okay, I don't fucking know how to start this shit. I never do. I really never do. And then no, I wanted to do crack in New York and then go to Skid Row for the to do like live pranks on fentanyl. I'm sure that's actually gonna be done in the next few years. Like, not only harassing people that are on drugs, but also being on drugs. Like, just, I don't know. Something about that seems like it could be a new trend, right? It would stand to reason. People. People. Believe it or not. I have. Or nar is what I was trying to say. Um, went for a treat today. That treat, of course, being gathered around to watch. Got a new washing machine, in case anyone is wondering. I. It might seem like actual third world country shit to you, but I haven't been able to wash clothes since I started streaming basically because my washing machine just how can I put this, didn't work anymore. So that was kind of something I had to deal with, and I've completely run out of clothes. And so the new washing machine was absolutely necessary. And now it's there, and now it's good, and now it just needs to be installed. Which is something that I'm probably gonna do right after the stream. But just know you will see some new clothes. Wait, let me put them across. Doesn't look dumb at all. Of course it wouldn't look dumb if they weren't connected at the tip. Then it would look completely normal. People, I don't know. I know these strands. I don't know. I don't think I deserve to call them bangs. Um, is something. right? Maybe I should, like, just to keep this ship from completely sinking, maybe getting more than like half a viewer. I could. Oh my god, that looks so fucking ridiculous. Like fucking antennas. I'm telling you, I'm just gonna tuck them in. Just gonna tuck them in. Okay. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe I should just start doing a whole fanboy thing, just to milk every last bit out of this sinking ship that is my Twitch streams. Then again, I've made this comparison before. It isn't really a sinking ship. It's more like a ship that never got approved for sailing. It was never waterproof, it never got finished. If you know what I mean. It's like that huge Swedish ship that one king made. What was it called? The Vasa. If you don't get it, I'm not, honestly not in the mental capacity to explain it. Okay, you know what? Fuck it. Drift King. As old as the wheel itself. Oh my god, I'm so incredibly dumb. The entire time. You couldn't even actually listen to the US Army clip that I just stole in the beginning.
Looking around YouTube today, you'd think that the practice of drifting is as old as racing cars itself. But the sport of delicate balance and complete anarchy, of smoke shredded.
I don't care about this part at all. Longer than the actual interesting part of the video itself. Fucking, you don't need to explain to me what drifting is. I've played Mario Kart for the Wii. Listen to me. You don't need to explain shit to ye.
Tires and dented fenders hasn't always been around. It's relatively new, in fact.
Really?
Drifting is dancing with horsepower, battling with fenders, and
because I really thought back when they had the first fucking cars, they were fucking drifting that shit on the wood wheels. Like, no shit.
singing with exhaust notes and tire smoke.
Oh, just shut the fuck up.
Someone who changed the world by turning his wheels in the other direction. Took risks others weren't willing to take. Street racing in the quiet hours of Japan's street racing in the a man XR to PlayStation.
I'm gonna actually fucking shit myself. I'm trying to skip to the interesting part, and I'm just watching a fucking gameplay of, what is this, Forza Horizon? I really don't.
And left a legacy that will last for generations to come.
Goddamn, please tell me more.
This is the story of Keiichi Tsuchiya, the Drift King.
Oh my god, is he the fucking guy from Drifting 101? That, I don't know if that was the actual name. But there was like a VHS that came out, or was it like I don't fucking remember, to be honest. But it was like a drift instruction video of like a guy drifting in a Toyota Supra MK2 or something. I don't fucking know. I'm not a car guy. I really am not a car guy. But I know that. And I think if that's the guy, damn. Okay. You go, player.
The story of Keiichi Tsuchiya begins in 1956 in the small village of Tomi. There, Tsuchiya-sama was born. Rumors have it that he came out of the womb sideways. The town of Tomi
He was drifting out of his own mom. God damn.
was long known for its hot springs, its beautiful landscapes, but most importantly, its proximity to winding roads known as...
No, wait a minute. Did they just call his mom a whore? I'm really confused what he came out sideways. She was so loose. He fell out sideways. I don't think... How? No, that's not even survivable. That would just snap his neck. I think they just called his mom a fucking whore. Interesting. Very interesting.
as Toge. In the late 1960s, you might find Datsun 510s and Honda S600s attacking the nearby curves of Usui Pass late at night, a 7.5-mile narrow mountain road over bridges, hairpins, and sheer cliff edges. Late at night, populated by drivers clamoring to be the fastest on its many winding passes. Their name was Hashiria, motoring enthusiasts that emerged in the 60s and 70s of Japan, taking their love of driving to the streets, hills, and raceways of...
Honestly, that's the coolest shit ever. I really don't care about fucking people having their GTS cars on car meets. Listen to me. I think that's the peak of drifting, okay? Where you literally have a car from the 60s and you have to kind of figure out the techniques yourself. It's not all written down, you feel me? That's the shit that I would like to see in a Japanese racing anime. Do you understand? Them having fucking 60s cars, the OG drifting I'm talking about. That's the shit I would love to see animated. With like a protagonist, the whole shit, you see what I'm saying? And then, oh no, one part broke and he's so fucking poor. He can't afford it, so he has to win this one single race with a broken something, like a broken transmission. And then he like has to kind of try to weld it himself. And then, oh no, one teeth breaks off the transmission, and then it's like he has to kind of adjust to that while racing. And that could be a whole thing, you know? And they got the old-timey wheels. I think that's kind of a gap in the market.
Of Japan's diverse blacktops. Young Keiichi would sit awake at night, listening to the roar of engines echoing through the hills as they battled at night. So inspired was Keiichi that one day he kickstarted his gas-powered bicycle and rode it 120 miles to Fuji Speedway, just to see racing up close and in person. On that day, Tsuchiya-sama would witness a driver pushing themselves and their car to the limit, and be inspired to spend his lifetime doing the same. There, at the helm of a Hakusuka GTR, Kunimitsu Takahashi was overtaking his opponents by sliding his car through the corners.
I love all that.
Today, Keiichi Tsuchiya is well known for bringing the sport of sliding cars to the masses. But Kunimitsu Takahashi, otherwise known as Kuni-san, was truly the father of drifting. A man whose motorsports career is as impressive in its wins as it is in its diversity. Kunisan
he's
started
still
out as a
racing
motorcycle
with
racer in the
glasses.
late 1950s, rising through the ranks to earn a spot on the Honda Speed Club factory team, where he rode his 250cc Honda over the finish line to become the first Japanese rider to win the West German Motorcycle Grand Prix in 1961. A year later, he would attempt the absurdly dangerous Isle of Man TT, a blisteringly fast motorcycle time trial run on public streets that has claimed the lives of over 150 riders. There, somewhere amongst the 219 turns around the town of Douglas, Kunisan loses control of his Honda 250, and the ensuing
And he dies. God. Damn, man. That's the fucking death trail.
accident nearly takes his life. While recovering from his heavy injuries, Kunimitsu is forced to reconsider whether racing on two wheels is even worth it anymore. Luckily, at the time, Nissan had learned of his dominating performance on motorcycles and offered him a spot on their factory team in 1965. And with that, the leather jacket of Rider Kunimitsu was hung on the wall for the rest of time. As a driver for Nissan, he set many lap records in their prototype race cars, such as the R380, the R381, and the R382. But it would be his outings in the Hakusuka GTR that would not only earn him trophies, but the love of an entire nation of motoring fans. In the early 70s, Kunisan found himself in the cockpit of the Nissan Skyline 2000 GTR. With the spirit of competition burning in his heart, he came to win. But
Get to the Toyota.
his tires were
Show the Toyota.
absolute garbage. And he wasn't alone. Everyone's rubber struggled to keep grip. You see, tire technology in 1970 was way behind the power and dynamics of the racing cars they were fitted to.
Yeah, old-timey wheels. He could have said, in short.
So you couldn't really rely on them to maintain grip as you attacked a turn, or stay in control as you accelerate out of an apex. What this meant was that most drivers would go very slow in and timidly accelerate out of a corner to maintain traction. Kunisan, whose bravery had been forged by years of two-wheeled death traps, had a different approach. Instead of meekly feathering the throttle and abiding by the limits of his tires, he would just press the accelerator firmly, aim at the corner exit, initiate a four-wheel slide, and just wait for his tires to give him the traction he needed to accelerate out. The result was essentially drifting. A sports car sliding through a turn, tires billowing smoke, and unexpected Japanese motoring fans screaming with acclaim. Kunisan's motoring exploits would go on for decades, but that might just be a story for another time.
This man is literally the real-life equivalent of figuring out Wii Mario Kart glitches. Holy shit, I mean that's kind of insane. The man really fucking damn, man. But the idea that no one thought of that. Like, what if we don't break? I mean, god damn, that's a revolutionist. Could you imagine a world where everyone still slows down at the corners? Like, fucking Formula 1 cars slowing down in the corners to almost a full stop. Damn, man.
Because there in the 1970s, among the onlookers watching with eyes wide open and jaws agape, was a young Keiichi Tsuchiya, who would forever be inspired by Kunisan's outlandish driving style, and who would quickly start saving for a car of his own, so that he too could slide his car through corners, not on a racetrack, but on the dangerous mountain passes of Japan. Following the absolutely massive success of the Hakusuka GTR, Nissan released its KPGC 110 GTR, aka the Kenmari. It is one of the greatest and rarest cars Japan has ever created. And somehow, according to Tsuchiya, it was his first car.
Damn,
Look,
man.
I know, everyone everywhere quotes Tsuchiya-sama as starting from some humble beginnings, but driving one of the 197 Kenmari GTRs as his first car triggers the sus in me a little bit. Other accounts say that his first car was the Nissan Sunny B110. Either way, Whatever car Tsuchiya did start in, he didn't dive headfirst into racing. In fact, at first, he refused to compete with others. After seeing how treacherous and tight the Usui Pass was, he opted instead to drive out to remote farmland and practice his driving technique on the weekends. For 4 whole years. 4 years of constant practice. Braking, heel towing, and countersteering until he had a connection with the car that was absolute. After
Let's not talk about how many wild animals he hit on that farm road.
spending what is honestly an absurd amount of time practicing, Tsuchiya finally felt it was time to take on the Usui Hashiriya. Keiichi made short work of the mountain racers. They never really stood a chance. When you practice for 4 years at something, forging your skills with fervent dedication, little can stand in your way. Keiichi was quickly deemed king of the mountain, and rivals would travel from all over the region to challenge him, only to see his taillights disappearing around the corner ahead of them, never to see them again. He was adored by other Hashiriya for his flamboyant racing style, passing his opponents in curves while sliding sideways. Word of Tsuchiya-sama's abilities soon traveled down the mountains to the world of professional Japanese racing. And in 1977, Keiichi would begin his life's work as a professional racing driver. But the soul of illegal mountain racing would never leave him.
As you already know, this is the man responsible for bringing the drift sensation from the other side of the Pacific to our shores here in the United States. He's a D1 Grand Prix judge, the Drift King himself, Keiichi Tsuchiya.
Tsuchiya
That's honestly taking another level.
knew the road ahead of him was long and difficult. Just like his successes as an outlaw mountain racer, his career as a pro driver would take a lot of time and dedicated practice. His humble racing debut began in the Fuji Freshman Racing Series, which is sort of a college sports version of touring car racing. You get to act like the professionals, but you're gonna pay for everything yourself. There he would pilot Toyota Starlets and Nissan Sunnies, economical, fun little cars with less than 100 horsepower. Keiichi's dedication to mastering driving skill and not relying on horsepower meant that he quickly racked up wins and garnered the support of sponsors. And even though he was winning, he felt like he was being held back by these low horsepower rookie racing classes. So he went to his sponsors and asked for money to buy a new, faster car. They said, sure, win the entire championship and we'll give you a new car. So he did. And in 1984, he stepped out of the world of underpowered, unassuming racing cars and into the driver's seat of an all-new,
Toyota.
underpowered, unassuming racing car.
Please.
But this would be a seat he would never leave for the
Oh my
rest of
fucking
his
god,
life.
please tell me.
Hey, what's that, a Toyota?
The 1985 Toyota Corolla GTS. A Toyota, dependable. A Corolla, affordable.
Oh my god.
Yet a different kind of Corolla. A slicker,
It's a Toyota.
powered by a new twin-cam, fuel-injected,
It's a Toyota.
valve engine
What's he got in there?
known as the TC16.
Hey, yeah, what's he got in there?
The 1980s were, well, for lack of a better term, weird. And the world of 80s Japanese cars was no different. Car companies of the time were abandoning complex rear-wheel drive platforms for simpler, more fuel-efficient front-wheel drive cars. Mitsubishi Mirage, Honda Civics, Toyota Tercels, all a dismal sign of the slow and depressing death of the sports car. But there among them was one last freedom fighter, a sports car for the masses, well, before the Miata came along, the AE86 Corolla. For this generation, Toyota went insane. Instead of just one new Corolla, they split the lineup in half. One was just another front-wheel drive economy car, but parked next to it at a dealership would be a near mirror image. But this time, with a rear-wheel drive platform, sportier suspension, and a free-revving, fun-loving 1.6-liter engine, the Hachi
Oh,
Roku.
that's so beautiful.
A plucky economy car with the heart of a champion. For our hero Keiichi, it was love at first sight. His racing prowess was forged on tight mountain roads. Tsuchiya-sama never cared for high horsepower, turbos, or gimmicks. To win, he believed you needed a vehicle you could trust. One that did what it was told and communicated back to the driver with solid inputs and delicate handling. Tsuchiya's competition AE86 went by many names. Carrot Flashpoint, Karada, whatever you called it, you saw it cross the finish line first. Though underpowered and unassuming, Keiichi and his Carrot A86 dominated the Fuji Freshman Series for 6 championships, leaving more powerful and advanced cars in its dust. So what do you do when you're dominating the competition and no one can beat you? You have a little fun with it.
Oh my god, that's gonna be so cool. Should have used that as an intro.
Like his
No,
hero
that's so
Kuni-san,
cool.
Keiichi kept himself entertained on course by sliding through corners, passing his opponents while graciously countersteering. It was probably really fun to watch, but must have driven the other competitors nuts. Tsuchiya-sama's performance in the Advan 8-6 was so dominant, the Nismo team had him investigated for cheating. I mean, how else can you explain that this puny little hatchback was sliding around corners and still passing its competitors? He of course wasn't cheating, he was just kind of a jerk. But the fans loved it. Tsuchiya was winning so easily that he found it boring, so his antics got bigger and bolder, exaggerating his drifting, pushing the track limits, driving fans wild and pissing off the officials. Eventually, the officials had had enough of it and threatened to suspend his license. His on-track exploits led him to earn the title of Dorkin, or Drift King. The reputation and controversy around the Drift
How
King
did they-
inspired Option Magazine to
How do they make these Japanese names for things? Doriken. So, what part about that is drift and what part about that is... I would say Ken could be king. Maybe. Just a wild assumption. Dory? Yeah, man. They got it going on.
reach out to Tsuchiya. They thought, what if we were able to show everyone the wild driving style of the Drift King? So they set about following Tsuchiya-sama for weeks, riding along with him and filming him attacking Yusui Pass in his personal AE86. What they released is a time capsule, roughly 20 minutes of oddly edited but superbly shot drifting masterclass. Raw sound, pure driving, and few cuts. It was
Loved
called
it.
Plusby, and it may seem almost timid now, but when it was created, nothing like it had ever been released. The reason nothing like it had ever been released was, well, in Japanese culture, filming yourself committing crimes is not as popular as it is here in America.
God, fucking damn.
As Plusby started making waves in the automotive scene, authorities took notice and immediately demanded the VHS tapes be removed from store shelves. Now, of course, censorship rarely works. The controversy just made Plusby even more desirable, its content more taboo and thus exciting to watch. And with that, drifting had hit the main stage. In 1986, Carboy magazine held what is believed to be the first drifting competition. And hot off the viral hit of Plusby, Keiichi and Daijiro of Option magazine started their own drifting events in 1989. They were known as Ikaten. Keiichi and Daijiro never took anything seriously. The Ikaten were meetups of poor car enthusiasts let loose on racing tracks of Japan throughout the 90s. They had no
Goddamn.
real judging
Those
or
were the
points,
times.
and accomplishments earned drivers the title of various sea creatures.
Wait a
with
fucking
ranks like
minute.
jellyfish and squid, and throughout the 90s. They had no real judge.
That guy looked like, what's his name? I smoke marijuana to keep myself from beating my wife and children. Or the guy that said, I just found a bee and then he got stung and then he's like in the car like completely swollen. Being like, we're gonna get some Benadryl. Goddamn, what was his name? Um, please, come on. what was his name? Martin Cabello. He really doesn't look like him at all. I think it's just the eyebrows, and I think it's just the eyebrows actually. Maybe the nose too. He does not at all look like Martin Cabello. But now you know that I was wrong, I guess. Okay.
Judging her points, and accomplishments earn drivers the title of various sea creatures. With ranks like jellyfish and squid, the series
So
got sillier
Japanese.
as time went on, eventually even inspiring Keiichi to adopt a cute octopus as his mascot for his parts company, K-Office. Keiichi would go on to become the judge of nearly every important drifting competition in Japan, including D1 GP when it launched in the year 2000. Tsuchiya-sama would host best motoring vids, appear all over in popular culture, he created the Drift Bible, and was the supervisor
The
and
Drift
allegedly
Bible.
inspiration for the anime Initial D. Keiichi himself had essentially kick-started the drifting revolution in Japan and subsequently the world. But if you asked him, he never meant to. He just drifted because it was faster and because it was more fun. So while he rose to fame as the counter-steering Doriken, his heart always beat for the spirit of real competition, door-to-door racing, and it would be a heartbeat heard round the world.
10年前に僕がまだ富士
When I
フレッシュ
was
マンレースを
racing,
していた頃
everybody knew that I would win. So to stop people being bored and fed up with the same old thing, I started drifting the car through the corners, much more than the other drivers, to keep people interested, and it improved the popularity of the sport.
Even as Keiichi became a television popularity, a judge for a new form of automotive competition, Tsuchiya never left the driver's seat. He continued to compete and win throughout the 80s, until it culminated with what must be a cornerstone moment for Tsuchiya-sama's life. He was invited to be Kunimitsu Takashi's co-pilot in his Group A Skyline GTR. Yes, the man who had inspired Keiichi so many years before to oversteer his way to the top was now going to be sharing his cockpit. Tsuchiya would commit himself fully to taking that team to the podium, eventually earning the duo a third-place podium in Group A. The successes of the Kunimitsu racing team caught the attention of Honda, who were fielding their new NSX GT2 in Le Mans. The GT2 was a monster. It was an NSX-R that had been completely un-Honda'd. 400 horsepower, wide-bodied in carbon fiber and aluminum, and revised and revamped from head to toe. In that year's Le Mans, Team Kunimitsu would start from the pit lane, but 24 hours later, 2 laps ahead of the Callaway Corvettes, Tsuchiya and Kunimitsu would take home a class win. After that, there were wins in Porsche 911s, failures in Dodge Vipers, hell, Tsuchiya even drove a few NASCAR events. His notoriety garnered
That's
the
really
attention
sad.
of team owners. They wanted Tsuchiya-san in their cars. And it would all culminate in what Tsuchiya himself calls his greatest achievement. In 1999, a team of 3 Toyota GT1s would enter Le Mans. Alongside Tsuchiya was Toshio Suzuki and Ukio Katayama. Their pace from the outset was conservative. This was an endurance race after all. And the strategy worked. As laps went on, their faster competitors dropped out of the race. One even decided to fly out of the race. Then, near the end of the 24 hours, the Toyota GT1 was battling Team BMW for the top spot. Unfortunately, in those final hours, the GT1 suffered a tire puncture and would only take home second place. But second
Oh
place in
no.
the world's most difficult and prestigious race is not a bad high watermark. In the following years, Tsuchiya would continue to race Supras and NSXs in the All Japan GT Championship. And then, after decades spent sliding through corner after corner, Tsuchiya-sama would hang up his jade green racing suit for good in 2003. A legacy of smiles, oversteer, and checkered flags behind him.
Good for
Today,
him.
Keiichi Tsuchiya's life might be a bit slower paced than the days of Le Mans victories and Ikaten tire shredding, but his heart beats just the same. From the moment he looked over that fence at Fuji Speedway to see Kuni-san driving with flair, to standing atop a podium in a country thousands of miles away, Tsuchiya-sama has never lost his spirit. Hell, parked in his garage is his own personal AE86, a masterpiece of underdog engineering, and a shining reminder of what Keiichi himself means to the world. A quiet, humble, smiling champion. Never quite so serious in character, but always a fervent and dedicated competitor. If you were lucky enough to meet Keiichi in person, you'd forget that he had led such a storied life, one of championships and being an icon for an entire motorsports movement. Tsuchiya's story is that of a foundation of an entire sport, an inspiration of a generation, and the competitive spirit of an entire nation. If you asked him, he would tell you that he's just another Japanese racing driver. But to those that have felt his influence throughout time, myself included, he is truly so much more than that. He is the Drift King.
The Fly God. Are we done? Shove that. Probably stole that from the guy from Keiichi. Okay. Okay, you poopy heads. Anything else? Anything else on the schedule? I mean, I don't know anymore. What time is it? Where am I? And where are my pants? I'm gooning under the table, people. No, I don't think I'm gonna do anything stupid like a car stream. What could I do? I could be right back, actually. People of I'm not actually. I think I should stop doing that all the time. Because let's face it, the guy, you know, I don't remember his name, but the guy was kinda very hateful But you know, he probably has some pretty bad trauma from his past that would probably make him think that way. I mean, really, people are just a product of their environment. And well, what can you do about it except stop using his memes, right? Let's just use our brains for a second. Okay? Because what I'm seeing is a lot of no brain usage.
Looking around YouTube today,
Looking
you'd think
around
that the
YouTube
practice of
today,
drifting is as
actually,
old as
please
racing
just
cars
let me.
itself. But the sport of delicate balance and complete anarchy. Looking around YouTube today, you'd think that the practice. Looking around.
Okay, come on, we almost have it. Yes, come on. Hell fucking yeah. No, we don't. Yes, we do. We do. Okay. 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 I gotta get it all figured out. What I would like to know is what can I do? We can change the world. Wait, from what thing was that? I was thinking Black Eyed Peas, but actually I'm pretty sure that there's like, what can I do? We can change the world. Do you know what I mean? I think that's from when Snoop Dogg made that one like Bible album. I'm pretty sure, actually. Yeah, and I think it's from the song Change the World. By the way, I don't know why I listen to that thing so often. Some songs I was like, yeah man, Snoop Dogg doing some R&B shit. I'm really a sucker for the dumbest shit. But I'll be honest with you, Snoop Dogg kinda killed it on that album. Direction to Yeet, Bigger Than Everything. I can't listen to that shit anymore. I listened to it once and I don't even remember anything about that song. And it still kind of hurts. God damn, Cole Bennett. What the fuck did you think? I'm sorry, Cole Bennett? God damn. I mean, really, Yeet is at fault for making the music. Maybe Cole Bennett really pulled the best music video you could do for, I don't know, people. Brittany Broski, okay.
Direct from the Broski Nation headquarters in Los Angeles, California, this is the Broski Report with your host, Brittany Broski.
Hey guys, welcome back.
By the way, people, I don't know if I'm so fucking sick for some reason. I have like brutal diarrhea. Like I'm literally fucking aqua shitting right now. Also like explosive, if I may say. Everything just really hurts, to be honest. And I wanted to just smoke a cigarette, but then I remembered, oh, if I smoke it now, the nicotine is gonna literally put a fuse to the bomb that's in my ass. And light it, too. I mean, pretty much as soon as I light the cigarette. It's gonna be some fucking... Do you remember those bomb arms from Mario? That's literally gonna be my asshole. With that being said, Broski Report. And listen, sometimes you don't need me to comment. Just listen to what she has to say, because that's the supreme leader. And if you go against the state, of the Broski Nation, I think, you know what we do to traitors. You know what the punishment for treason is. It's capital. It's the capital punishment. Okay? Capital P we call it. 'Cause we're gonna do some shit that you will not want to have done on you. So you better listen, okay?
Back to the Broski Report, starring me, Brittany Broski, and I am actually going to be the host of the Broski Report. That's actually how that's going to clock out. Long time no chat, guys. It's been a whole 7 days. Wow.
Holy shit. I'm not even kidding you. Oh my god, I'll be right back.
So much can happen in a week, in a Christian week. In just 7 days, you can be a different person, okay? I'm not, but you guys might be. Okay, some things to address quickly off the top of my head. Some of you guys mentioned that Kylo Ren and Mandalorian were not kissing last episode, so let me go ahead and fix that on the table. Now, caution, president at work, also caution, 2 men kissing, okay? Caution if that bothers you, just a kind of trigger warning. Gay things are happening on the table, so just want to give a heads up about that. Okay, I need to start off with the top 3 songs because I forget it every single time, every single episode. At the very end, I'm like, oh yeah, music. One of the things that keeps me alive. I forget to talk about it. I forget to talk. Owen Wilson impression. Okay, so let's talk. Oh, okay, so we're not talking about it. I don't know what cinematic universe that Owen Wilson is in, but that was a pretty good impression. Whoa. Okay, that was good. Mater. That was just my voice. Mater. Okay, top 3 songs are as follows. Number 1, White House Road by Tyler Childers. Live version. Live. Okay, make sure to listen to Tyler Childers live because he's better live. He's similar to Rosalia in that way. I'm also sorry, I just had goldfish, and so it kind of sucked all the moisture out of my mouth. So if you hear me kind of gummy.
So I just realized that you can still hear it but not see it, which doesn't make sense. Just know that my ass is actually fucking detonating right now. And, yeah. That's my life. With that being said, actually gonna just empty out my fecal compartments, and then we'll be right back. God damn, man.
If I'm kind of gummy and slip-slopping and smacking today, it's because my gums are dried out. I've also been doing this new thing where I sleep with the fan directly on my face, and I wake up like jerky. Kind of similar to human jerky, if you could imagine that. Just completely dried out, just meat. Salty, dried out human meat. I am human jerky when I sleep in front of the fan. Also, it's kind of like my eyes won't really open all the way because they're sandpapered shut, and then my mouth, my throat down to like my lungs is just dried out. But damn, you gotta sleep with the fan on. Damn, you gotta sleep with that fan on, y'all. I'm telling you, I don't know how. I cannot sleep unless there is a draft on my legs. I don't know what to tell you, dude. I can't sleep with socks on. I can't sleep with pants on. I have got to have my legs to the wind as God intended. Okay? That's why, hey, nightgowns, you never hear about night pants. In the olden days, no one was sleeping in night pants. They were sleeping in nightgowns, okay? Anyway, White House Road by Tyler Childers. Number 2, and I'll get into this in a little more detail in a second, but All Up in Your Mind by Beyonce. Now, let me sort of just pause for a fucking minute. When Renaissance came out, okay? When Renaissance came out, I said, my favorite song is All Up in Your Mind. And people are like, that's a sleep. Like, no one cares about that one. Like, that's kind of a flop. That's whatever. That's a skip. That's a skip. First of all, no skips on Renaissance. Second of all Up in Your Mind is a hidden gem. Because everyone was so busy with Pure Honey and Cozy and Cuff It and Break Your Soul and whatever. All those songs are fantastic. All Up in Your Mind, bitch, it's the standout. You know I'm a fucking problem? Are you joking? And then she sold merch with with her on the horse and then a red square around her face that says problem. Fuck off. I love Beyonce. I love Beyonce. I have a 4 tattoo. It's her lucky number right there. I love Beyonce, dude. Okay, so I'll get more into Beyonce in a second. But that's number 2, All Up in Your Mind. And number 3 is Ohio by Crosby, Stills, and Young. I've been on this kind of like Steely Dan, Hall & Oates kick recently. I enter it about every 4 to 5 months where I'm like, damn, this is just some good music. John Denver, Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young. It's like I'll put on a playlist or I'll start with one song and then I'll let Spotify kind of take the reins. I'll let Spotify, whoa! Spotify takes the reins and I'm like, whoa, Nelly. Who's Nelly? Whoa, Nelly. Where did it come from? The Roy Rogers Show, 1951 to 1957. Pat Brady's horse was Phineas. The phrase "Whoa Nelly" originated with Pat Brady. Nelly was short for Nellie Bell, the name of his cantankerous Jeep. Hey, the more you know. Okay? Oh my god, I saw this TikTok the other day of this girl talking about how Bugs Bunny saying "What's up, Doc?" it's been lost to like comedy history that Bugs Bunny was a caricature of, and I can't remember the fucking actor's name. Bugs Bunny was a caricature of what actor? Edward G. Robinson. And there were a couple others too. Bugs Bunny is voiced by Eric Bauza, who is also the current voice of Daffy Duck and Tweety. Oh my god, that happens more often than you would think. Voice actors voice like a lot of famous characters and you never know it's the same person. That's crazy. According to Chuck Jones, the creator of Bugs Bunny is a cross between Dorothy Parker and Errol Flynn. He puts up a fight only when provoked, never goes looking for trouble. Okay, so Edward G. Robinson. Look him up. Now look here. See. He was born in 1893. Crazy. Edward G. Robinson was a Romanian-American actor of stage and screen who was popular during Hollywood's golden age. He appeared in 30 Broadway plays and more than 100 films during a 50-year career, and is best remembered for his tough guy roles as gangsters. Okay, what in the world was I talking about? This is gonna be impossible. Oh, how Bugs Bunny was a caricature of this actor or a bunch of different actors of the time, the sort of like, yeah, see, look around, say, what's up, Doc, like that sort of thing. But now we associate that phrase so closely with Bugs Bunny that we don't even remember the actor that Bugs Bunny is supposed to be a caricature of. And that sort of thing is exactly what I was talking about with Whoa Nelly. Of like, I know Whoa Nelly as like, you're riding a horse and you're telling the horse to calm down. I didn't realize that was a reference to a TV show from the 50s, dude. How many things do you think? I'd like to see a list of things like that, of like things that have become vernacular and common, sort of everyone knows what it means, but you don't know where it comes from, that have to do with pop culture that is not ours. You know what I mean? Like, not of our time. And not only is it not of our time, but it's so old that you don't even know what it is. That's crazy, because you can reference stuff from, TV shows from the 80s and 90s and even 70s, and most often, if it was really popular, like, you could clock it, but the 50s, that's like the beginning of modern television. Like, that's the late 40s, early 50s is really when like Twilight Zone and all that, these TV shows that were groundbreaking and really like the thought of a serial show that you could keep watching. There were new episodes, every week, every month, whatever. Like, what a crazy thing to have been lost to the annals of history almost. Not lost, but when it comes to pop culture and relevancy, there are certain things that will always be relevant, like Star Wars or Indiana Jones, some of these like classic cult following movies, but TV shows is crazy. And it also makes me sad maybe a little bit that we don't remember. Fuck me, what was I talking about? Oh, Ohio by Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young. How did I start talking about Bugs Bunny? Ohio's a great song, okay? And there's tea there for the classic rock girls. I don't know if someone could actually explain it to me, because I'm not going to Google it. I don't care that much. Of Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, Neil Young, on Spotify, it's only listed as Crosby, Stills, and Nash, because Neil Young had like a diva moment or something like that, and he broke off for a little bit, and then maybe he came back. I don't know. But Ohio isn't on Spotify. Or it used to be, and then they took it off. Maybe this is an ongoing thing. I don't know if Neil Young's like still in his diva era, if he's like Floppiana, or if he's back. Did Neil Young leave Spotify? The singer decided to leave the streaming service because it gives a platform to Joe Rogan. Oh shit! Okay, Neil Young. Spotify is removing Neil Young's songs after he complains of misinformation. The singer decided to leave the streaming service because it gives a platform to Joe Rogan, whom scientists have accused of promoting falsehoods about the coronavirus vaccine. This is tea. Neil Young wasn't bluffing. Spotify said on Wednesday that it had begun removing the singer and songwriter's music from the streaming service 2 days after he briefly posted a public letter calling on Spotify to choose between him and Joe Rogan. Holy shit! Neil Young versus Joe Rogan TikTok boxing match. Bryce Hall officiates. The Star podcast host, who has been accused of spreading misinformation about the coronavirus and vaccines. Young's challenge to Spotify has become a high-profile, if unexpected, flashpoint in the battle over misinformation and free speech online. It also raised questions about the power of performing artists to control where their work is heard, period. In a statement posted to his website on Wednesday, Young called Spotify the home of life-threatening COVID misinformation. He added lies being sold for money. That is great. Good for Neil Young. Damn. But that sucks. I want to listen to Ohio. Sorry, I'm like picking the matted hair from the back of my neck if you hear.
Me, RC. I just emptied out me RC. I don't know what to tell you, people. Oh, fuck. I don't know. Is someone fucking spiking me with laxatives? God damn, man. That just, damn. 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 You know what I'm saying? I just fucking...
Some disturbing sounds
By the way, what was she talking about?
coming from my sort of neck region, my neckle region. Okay, so Neil Young is in his diva woke liberal era, period for Neil Young. Anyway, that's a great song. Ohio is a fantastic.
I'm sorry, don't. Let's keep going. I don't know anything about Neil Young though.
Song. I love that song. I wonder if he's back on. I think on Spotify it's still Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young. Oh my God, I lied. Oh no, this is a cover band that did this. Yeah, look, Old Man with a Heart of Gold Under a Harvest Moon. Neil Young, we miss streaming you. That's what the name of this album is, and it's a cover band that did Ohio.
Oh no, there's still poop on my hand. Oh no.
Our house
Oh no.
is a
No,
very, very, very fine house. I love them. Okay, those are the 3 songs. Thanks to the sponsor of today's episode, ZocDoc. Raise your hand if any of this sounds like you. You obsessively follow that super credible health expert on TikTok.
I don't think I'm ready for this kind of attack. I know what she's gonna say, but...
You take all the latest supplements your almond mom recommends, even the ones that don't taste good. You embrace the latest diet craze that your friend swears by, whether it's eating no carbs or all the carbs. But here's the tea. You listen to all these health-obsessed folks, but when was the last time you went to an actual good doctor, team? If you have to think about...
I'm done. No, I'm not. Okay, let's get it. No. Actually, no.
For free,
Mm-mm.
you know that I am Beehive to my fucking core. And
I don't care if I don't care if I'm dying. I really don't. Just let me have some money. Let me have some fucking money. Let me have like enough money so I can donate some. You feel me? Let me do something. I mean, honestly, what the fuck even? At this point, I'll probably be in a better place in the afterlife. You feel me? Hell no, I'm not going to the doctor. I should go to the bank and rob it.
and it's similar to
Priorities, people.
Harry in a certain sense, but it's also not. They're absolutely completely different roles in my life and in my sort of musical admiration. I admire them for very different reasons, and
Tell me.
they've impacted me in very different ways.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to Harry, Harry is someone that, like, he has influenced my way of viewing the world and viewing life and
Harry
other
Styles?
people and myself, and just having everything be coated in this rosy sheen of kindness, because it's so easy to not be kind. You know, that's the default, I feel like, is to not be kind.
Yeah.
Especially online, especially in a post-COVID world. You know, we're all on edge, and we're all fearful of each other, and living in fear and living in paranoia. And the treat people with kindness mantra really helps with that, I think. And it helped with that way before COVID was even, you know, in the sphere of
People were always, by default, not kind.
understanding for a lot of people. Like, for me, treat people with kindness has always been, it seems
I mean, literally, the nature of nature is to be not kind. I don't know what to tell you. Like, yes, we are a product of nature that is not by default kind. So by default, by our nature, we would also not be kind. Sad as that is, it is sadly the truth.
so simple and so, like, yeah, duh. But in moments where it's not easy to be the bigger person, or you want to say something so bad, but, you know, consider the consequences of saying that, he really, really, really has helped me, but be the best version of myself in those situations. And at those little moments,
Maybe I should listen to some Harry. God damn. I mean, sounds good. Trust me, I'm still in those situations where I'm like, okay, like standing in front of a complete narcissist and just trying to hold my tongue, because there might still be some, can I say this? Sometimes you have to kind of play around narcissists' ego to get anything productive out of them. And sometimes that's hard. Sometimes you want to just cut right through everything and destroy their entire self-worth. But sometimes you have to uphold it. Which is also pretty much not kind of me, but, you know.
make up your larger life. And in that sense, Harry has really, you know, taught me how to be a better person. And I don't give a fuck if that sounds cringy, dude, because try to look up a video of Harry Styles being a diva on YouTube. They don't exist. And if you find a video that has that title, it's a joke. There is not a bad word, a bad video about him online. And what an incredible what an incredible feat, to be honest. I mean, people are not going to like him for, whatever reason they choose, but at the end of the day, there's not a real tangible thing that he's ever said or been mean, or you know what I mean? It's like, that's just so inspiring to me, and it's really
But,
helped me
like,
navigate sort of.
Call me crazy, but I would assume that that's like just insane PR training.
Having a platform, because what a strange thing. And I could have gotten myself into a lot of trouble if I, let what
Or at least
people
just
say
could be
to
that.
me online.
Just could be that, right? I mean, I'm sorry for interrupting the supreme dictator. And I know president at work, but I'm trying to say this. I don't think that's something that we should take at face value from any celebrity. Them being nice on camera. Just because they haven't been caught yet doesn't mean they're actually good people.
Line. If I were to bite back at every single thing, Harry kind of helps me remember, like, you don't have to do that. Why would you actively choose to speak negativity or criticism or hate into the world when you have the choice to do something positive? And so Harry has affected
I'm sorry. That's literally me. She's talking about me.
me in that way, and also his music. I love his music, but I listen to his music in a different way than I listen to Beyonce's music. Beyonce has been a fixture in my life for as long as I would say One Direction has. Honest to God, I discovered the I Am World Tour. Like, I knew Beyonce, right? Everyone knows, like, Destiny's Child and all that, but I discovered the I Am World Tour 2012, probably about. I was like a sophomore, freshman in high school. I used to watch music videos on Vivo. Throwback to Vivo, dude.
Damn,
And
man.
I was probably watching One Direction or something
Throwback to Vivo, honestly.
like that. And on autoplay came on Beyonce singing I Care live at Roseland. And it autoplayed, and I was like, oh my God, she looks so good. I was like, I love Beyonce. Or, like, I like Beyonce, but, I've never really cared much about her music. And this starts autoplaying, and I am sucked in. Like, I Care, first of all, if you're a Beehive, you know that I Care is one of the best songs she's ever written. It's one of the most vocally, like, impressive displays that she has ever done. And it's live. It's incredible. And I watched this video so much. Like, if this video would have been a VHS tape, I would have burned that bitch up. The amount of times I replayed and replayed and replayed this video. And that sort of...
Ah, that's such... Honestly, I love that she said that. That's so... I never thought about the fact that VHS used to do that. Yes, I remember that. And then it would get really, really fucked up. And sometimes it would just basically have such a low frame rate that the image just skips. It looks like unwatchable. Damn, man, maybe I should get a VHS recorder, a VHS player, because I still have like straight up from the TV taped footage of like the first season of The Simpsons. I should definitely. That would be so cool if I had that on the TV in the background. I think that would be really good. Imagine the static here, but it would not be static there. It would be a season 1 completely burned out VHS tape. And if you want that, please let me know, because I might actually put the effort in to get that set up, just for the sake of playing some VHS.
Put me in this jumping off position of diving headfirst into Beehive lore and culture. And it was just the sort of discovery when you discover an artist that's like, holy fuck. And I don't mean discover an artist. I mean like fully appreciate the full roster of art they've created. Because you can like an artist, like a few songs, or maybe be really familiar with an album, but understanding where they're coming from as an artist, what they've been through personally, and all of the little, you know, projects and features and leaks and whatever, like that's a whole different fan experience than like, oh yeah, I love that album by whatever.
Yes, exactly. I don't see how that's... Maybe some people don't know that.
You know, it's like, bitch, I'm in this for life. For life. So that started it. I was probably 13, 14. And I watched Live at Roseland until the DVD just about broke. Then I bought the I Am World Tour DVD. And then I had the Beyonce Experience DVD. And I used to go to Walmart, dude, because when 4 came out, the album, I like bought it on CD, and then when Self-Titled came out, I bought that. I bought it on iTunes. I got all the videos. I got everything. I was like waiting for the drop. And I remember when Lemonade came out, I had a watch party with my mom, and I had just gone through a breakup. Oh, bitch, there is not a more spiritual experience than going through a breakup and listening to Lemonade. And it had just came out. It was new, so I was like diving into this piece of art, but at the same time it was like, it was so personal. And especially as a woman, that feeling of, am I just not enough for you? What the fuck else do I have to do to make myself enough for you? You want me to make myself smaller? You want me to make myself quieter? You want me to make myself her?
This part is gonna... Okay. Just by her facial expression, I know this part is gonna get so fucking intense. You know, she just has that ability to make, maybe just me, but pretty much everyone so incredibly uncomfortable. That's like one of her special tricks.
I'll make myself her if that's what you fucking want. And Beyonce, oh my god! There's an interlude.
It was not intense at all.
On the visual album of Lemonade, where she goes, oh my god, I have chills reading this. I tried to change, closed my mouth more, tried to be softer, prettier, less awake. Fasted for 60 days, wore white, abstained from mirrors, abstained from sex, slowly did not speak another word. In that time, my hair, I grew past my ankles. I slept on a mat on the floor. I swallowed a sword. I levitated. Went to the basement, confessed my sins, and was baptized in a river. I got on my knees and said amen and said I mean. I whipped my own back and asked for dominion at your feet. I threw myself into a volcano. I drank the blood and drank the wine. I sat alone and begged and bent at the waist for God. I crossed myself and thought I saw the devil. I grew thickened skin on my feet. I bathed in bleach and plugged my menses with pages from the holy book. But still inside me, coiled deep, was the need to know, are you cheating on me?
That kind of sounds like an acid bender. That sounds like something I used to do. Like that sounds like a 2-week-long acid bender for me. Good art.
Don't care that she may have.
I wish I could be this enthusiastic about anything.
Probably she did make the most important piece of musical art probably in my lifetime. The most culture shifting important piece of art. I will die on this hill is Lemonade by Beyonce. I don't care. Oh my god, all these are so good. Let me find the one I was talking about. Oh my god, this is what I was talking about. This is when anger flashes on the screen. If y'all haven't seen Lemonade, pause this right now and go watch Lemonade. Are you joking?
No, I haven't watched Lemonade. I'm so sorry. Oh no, look at her stern look. I think we pretty much have to watch Lemonade. But it's gonna get claimed. Is it a no, I'm actually gonna close all thoughts that I have, all questions that I have, just to not embarrass myself. Lemonade Beyonce. Where's the first result? Lemonade Nails. Okay. Yes, it's an album. Spotify. Should I go on? How long is it? How long is Lemonade? Did we actually check and see? How long is Lemonade? How long is the 8 provided by the lemon? I don't think this was a good stream, to be honest. I apologize. I really do. I think this was a disappointment for everyone. Just know that I do better streams than this. I think my peak is probably every Friday. Not only because that's when the peak starts to kick in, usually. It's also because, damn man, 108,000 monthly listeners for Renner Golden. It's pretty cool. Shout out. I probably boosted that by a lot. By doing my 314 stream. By the way, check that out. I have it fully uploaded on YouTube. I'm sure you'll love it. God damn it. God damn. Okay, okay. What did I want to search? Lemonade. Hello. Is it Lemonade you're looking for? It's not by Adele. It's by Lemonade by yes, I remember the cover. So sad that I didn't know. Oh my god. You know what? Fuck it. It's only 50 minutes. I'm without any doubt going to, and listen to me, going to make another stream. That's gonna be an hour. I think that's good. I think that's a fair trade-off. Maybe 1.5 hours, then we can probably finish watching this right here too. Wait, why is it not showing the cursor? Now it is. I'm gonna watch all this later today too. I promise, people. Come on. Tune in if you can read this, if you can hear me. I don't know what to read exactly, but if you can hear me, listen. I am going to, without